Back, cyber traders. Welcome back here this Wednesday, June 21st, top of the summer to everybody here joining us live inside our live trading room. And then once again, back on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Great to have all of us there collectively as well. So another day, another green day where the markets are moving way on up right now, higher heading into this afternoon. So great to see Levitan, Norman, Kathleen, a few of our students joining us here. So with that, let's hop to it. Carvana ended up, pardon me, actually. You know what? For social media, good to go. I actually slipped up. I forgot to share my own screen inside the cyber group room. Caught that early. Give me a quick second here, folks. I wanted to make sure that we were squared away on all ends. So for Lawrence and Kathleen, now should be seeing the trade on UCAR, right? Yeah, should be good. Cursor waving there. All right, cool. So UCAR, hey, one of a few trades alongside Carvana just up until a moment ago. So UCAR ended up making a strong pop when the market had opened up. Fausto was all over this trade at first, ended up calling it out just once it had popped over 6. Then from there, completely ripped up higher. Listen, hey, when a stock is at $6 and we're calling it out, we're not necessarily expecting for it to run all the way up to 9 or at least as quickly as it did. All right, well, hey, we have class later on today, the Phase 1 stock course. Our students like Norman, Kathleen, Leda, Lawrence here joining us right now. Let me ask us here, what time do stocks typically look to reverse? Give or take a few minutes, of course. What time do stocks typically look to reverse, folks? Give or take around that 10:30 time, right, Sam? There we go. So with that, I mean, obviously this maintained a beautiful trend the whole way through, ended up breaking back over 8. Then from there, I mean, obviously moved up a little bit more, but the higher it goes, the sharper it runs. You start to wonder, when is it going to top off? So we don't need to be perfect with getting out as long as we're very clean with getting in. Now, aside from that, if you are just resorting to the cyber clock, give or take 15 minutes, exactly like John W. wrote here, well, hey, you could use that to your advantage. And from there, ended up topping off just a little shy of 1030. But what's the end result that happened after? It fell way off, took a long time to consolidate and build back up even. So you know what? It's showing some activity right now, but we weren't necessarily expecting that once it had topped off around $9, right? I mean, normally stocks like this tend to just fade off and pull back lower into the afternoon. Just take one look at VSIG from yesterday, right? We were talking about this live in our Traders Talk workshop, nailed the top, ended up pulling back, and once it showed lower highs off 954 print line, right? So you would like to think the same would be said on UCAR, but hey, for right now, across the afternoon, it's showing higher lows still, and we're going to put this on our watch list for the meantime, see if this can try and make the higher high at this stage. But, hey, even as we go through this meeting, if this ends up like tanking, completely breaking down sooner than later, then we'll write it off. For right now, makes the cut. All right, so we had Carvana up actually just before inside the cyber group room. There we go. CVNA was up pretty nicely just before. It was topping off around 2470-ish. There was a big iceberg on level 4. I'll show that here at $25 right there, about 111,000 shares plus. So that's been out there really since the morning, the mid-morning, around 10 o'clock, shortly after. I'd like to think the more this builds higher lows, we'll see the chance for this to move up closer to 25 before the end of the day. Big support should be off the opening bell print here at $24, maybe a little bit above it. And that's at minimum. So we'll see if this could, pull back to 24. Otherwise, it may build higher lows right from this point and keep going. So I don't mind putting Carvana, CVNA back on our watch list. It's not up that illustrious 5% that we normally scan for, but making more of an afternoon move, mind you, right? So beautiful push so far. I know of a few of our students that did well on this trade from earlier. I think Elizabeth did pretty nicely on this trade before. Was it Vic? No, that was on AI. Vic got $1 on AI. There was another student. I don't want to leave them hanging here, but a couple of us jumped in and out on the Carvana trade from earlier. But yeah, for right now, we'll put this back on. All right, so the way the markets are moving right now, flying on up heading into the afternoon, I'd be remiss to at least not show Mara and Riot, the crypto stocks that we were following from yesterday. This chart's messy, so I'm not going to put this on our main watch list right now. The chart's way too messy, but it's volatile, it's tradable. Just if you do well on this stock day to day, I'm sure that you'll have more of an eye on it. But for right now, these crypto stocks, I'd look for a better push on them tomorrow morning. Whether they're up or down, you see if they make another bounce back up tomorrow morning. I'm not fully sold on them yet for this afternoon. We did well on them yesterday afternoon. So at least heading into the market close, both of them ended up running up pretty nicely. So great trades. But yesterday's stocks are not necessarily today's stocks. That's why HI, we had no idea from yesterday that this would be popping up once again this morning, and more of a pre-market move. It's still number one on the gainers list. So let's technically just go from top to bottom right now here, folks. So AHI dumping off now. We're not going to put it on our main list, but more from the morning session. The stock we've done really well on, back from earlier this month, and then I think back like a few months back, even like this back from last year, I reckon here. I just remember this run, and same with back from earlier in June. So, we did well on it back then. If it can make a fraction of that type of run, we're content. It did already. And then from there, fell off very quickly after this stock. Thankfully, I could say I didn't touch, but I didn't really make any money on it with that in mind. But you don't really want to play with fire, and seeing a stock getting halted like 2 or 3 times on the way up, it's going to get halted on the way down. The more it gets halted on the way up, it's going to get halted going down. And typically when a stock gets halted on the way down, it's game over. That's a wrap. So I stayed away, and thankfully so. I missed out on a little pop, but there's plenty of fish in the sea to catch, folks. All right, let's keep it going here. You got UCAR on the main list for right now. Ocean, forgot about this one from pre-market. Nice pop earlier into the market open, but again, this one topped off before the open, even kind of pre-market here prior, and ended up just pulling back afterwards, and lower highs, lower lows. Pop and drop type of stock there. PCT, hey, speaking of a move up right now, this actually is really looking pretty nice. So solid trend, good liquidity on the book. It's trading about 10, 11,000 shares per minute. Nothing wrong with this trade, it seems to me. I'm not really too familiar with the company, but it looks like the stock trades a couple million shares on average a day. So, even if it's kind of low float, it does trade decent volume. So I'm going to put this right away on our list. Pure Cycle. I'm going to assume a bicycle company. I don't really care to check. We got class coming up here, folks, right at 3:05 Eastern time. So we'll look to repost that link for class coming up momentarily. We'll keep it going here, though. Hyper. We got the Nut X trade. We've traded this one before, but kind of a cheapie now at this point. Probably say the same on a bunch of these. Finger. Hey, we've traded this one before and have done pretty well on it in the past. Back from last year in October. I think that's when we were trading AHI. Obviously made a better pop earlier in the month, but that AHI was right around the same time as this Finger stock. Just I had that in the back of my head. So now I'm adding 1 and 1 together, getting 2. So yeah, Finger back from October last year made a huge run for us back then, basically an 8 or 9x. And for right now, pushing up here. So it's hard to ignore. I wish I had better liquidity on the book, that's for certain. Just it does have a little iceberg actually here right now, and 264, 10,000 shares. That's pretty big compared to everything else. I like that. Just I'd rather see the spreads a little bit more contained for a cheaper trade. Groupon right away on our list. Looks good. GRPN, very liquid, moving up at the highs. I will say that I wish it was trading more volume per minute, only about like 1 or 2K. But for right now, we'll hope to see more come in there. CLSK, it's lingering. It's like, at the highs. So, it's one that we'll keep a smaller eye on. Look at the daily chart here too. It's moving back up towards historical resistance back from mid-April, you could even say there. 512, the high of the day back from May 10th. 509, the high of the day back from May 13th. Today's high, 508. Pretty close. All right, so let me write this one down for the side list. I feel like it's a little slow for our liking here, though. CLSK. Maybe I'll come back to it if I need to. Big lots. I didn't see this one up until now. So nice find here. Hopefully a little bit more left on this trade. This one is more up our alley in terms of speed plus liquidity. It's not expensive. So it's like the perfect storm, right? It's like that PCT trade. Nikola. Too slow for us right now. Already made its move, popped up pretty nicely from 140-ish up towards 160. Fausto called out a really big iceberg order on that just live. And actually, we posted that on our YouTube channel just a moment ago. Posted a few different shorts. If you check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/cybertradingu. What else we got here? We got HUT. We got a couple of the Bitcoin mining stocks, right? Like we were saying, Riot and Mara, but what are the others? We had BitF, BT from the morning. It got a little shaky under 420. Not looking too good right now, so we'll pass. All right. Hey, if there's anything else looking good, folks, on the way up, more than 5%, type it in now. Anything moving with the market on the way up, let me know. All right. We'll hop over to the loser side here, seeing if there's anything looking good, if not better. It's tough in an up market, of course. QURE, nice drop off now from 1270-ish. It's moving. Again, in an up market, is there a great need to look at really much on the loser side? I don't know if it's down a lot, like PIRS percentage-wise, perhaps. This is a cheapy stock. We're not going to follow it, though. Or if the stock is at the low of the day, like near the lows, at the lows, I'd feel a lot better about that. So pass on those trades for right now. AAOI, we've done so well on the way up over the last week and a half. So expectedly so, pulling back. It's taken a bit of a hit here, actually, down 20%. It is at the lows, or near the lows, so we appreciate that. I already dropped off a lot already. I just feel like this is more bound for a bounce here sooner than later. So even if it does pull a little bit lower towards $4, good for about 12, 16 cents on the way down. I just feel like there could be better trades right now at this point. That's all. Nothing exactly non-tradable about the stock. Good spread, good liquidity, trending down, but we're in an up market. I want to follow something more so on the way up, or unless if it's something really with a lot more room on the way down to drop and at the lows. What's Roblox up to then? A little more expensive. It was dropping off quite nicely up until 2 o'clock. Ended up just bouncing now. So a little away from those lows, but I forgot about that one. I did want to check that one out. I think a few of our students like Bill and Chuck perhaps are calling that out earlier. Matt H saying KTOS. Yeah, what's up? Good. Stock had a nice breakout earlier today. Liquidity isn't bad. Spreads are good for right now, nice and tight, and moving back up to the highs here. Good call. I don't know if this was kind of going up as I was going from top to bottom, but definitely good heads up on KTOS from one of our members, Matt. Manuel saying, I'm glad UCAR came back. Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, hey, for right now, this is already on our list and coming back to it here before we wrap up. Nice pop. There we go. All right, so I'm going to check social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, the works. Let us know if you have any other stocks that you'd want us to check out here before we finish up. Got my Benzinga Pro. I could at least try and share here pretty quickly. GRNQ maybe. UCAR obviously making a big pop right now. There's E. Upstart's not down enough percentage-wise. That's all right. All right, cool. Check out that last one, GRNQ. I don't know what the chart looks like. All right, we're going to move away. All right, folks, we're going to wrap up for right now. You can take a look at a chart and just know right away it is not worth watching. It is not tradable, not worth our time. And this is certainly that. So for right now, actually, let me just go back to that CLSK. That was the only one I'd said I guess I'd go back to. And it's not looking too great. So we're going to pass on it. All right, that's fine. So in total, folks, we got 2, 4, 6, 7 different stocks to work with here going into the market close. I know most of us are actually going to be in class, the Phase 1 stock course, continuing at 3:05 Eastern Time. We're going to be talking all about the trends, although it's a topic that a lot of us may find themselves familiar with. This will give us a chance to break down the basics in terms of how to not catch the falling knife, how to anticipate a bounce off of a support level, even as the stock is trending down. There's a stark difference between the two. So we'll cover that, and we'll ultimately cover what you need to know in terms of recognizing an active trend throughout the day. So again, folks, I look forward to seeing most of us in class. Best of luck trading going into the market close. I'm going to hit the slow down button in class perhaps there. But for all of us on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, the works. Hey, any questions that you got for me, feel free to shoot me over a quick email. Josh@ctutrading.com is the handle. But again, folks, I look forward to seeing most of us in class. Talk to you all soon.